Hello everyone. In the last 1 week, we have seen the primary market, uh, like what are the functions of primary market, what is the concept of primary market, and what are the different types of shares issued for the first time in primary market, right? So we have seen the different methods. We put together all these methods as IPO. IPO is initial public offering. So when the shares are initially offered for the first time, there are different methods by which the firms has to issue these shares. So we have seen that the first one is the prospectus method, right? Public issue through prospectus. Again, there are two types of prospectus. One is the final prospectus, under which the book building method is incorporated. Okay, so that is the price is fixed through big book building method. And there is another prospectus method where the draft prospects are issued. This is known as red herring prospectus method. So under this, only the draft prospectus is issued, which has to be approved by the SEBI later on. So that is the first method. Then we have seen what offer for sale is. Under offer for sale method, the company will appoint the intermediary firms or stockbroker firms to issue the shares. That is offer for sale. They are issuing, or they are offering their shares to be sold by the intermediaries. And the third method is, under the third method, we have seen QIP, which is qualified institutional placement, where the shares of one company is bought by institutions, qualified institutions. Those institutions can be banks, or those institutions can be UTI, Life Insurance Corporation of India, etc. Okay, these are not intermediaries, but these are the institutions which purchase the shares of the company. And these people, these institutions are buying these shares for themselves. They are not going to sell it to another people, right? These institutions are buying the shares for themselves. So they are not acting as an intermediary, and hence it is known as qualified institutional placement. And then we have also seen the rights issue, the rights shares. But one thing that we have to remember is the rights issues is uh, the part is part of IPO as well as FPO. Okay, so we have seen different types of IPOs as of now. Now we are going to see FPO. What is FPO? FPO is nothing but the second stage of IPO. That is, in the first stage, shares are sold for the first time. That is known as IPO. But in spite of using all these techniques, the company must have used the prospectus method, the offer for sale method, the QIP method, etc. In spite of employing all these methods, sometimes the company may not be able to sell off all the shares of those company, right? The company may want to sell 1,000 shares, but the company is only able to sell, let us say, 800 shares. Okay, so there are still 200 shares remaining. So in that case, the company will start employing another method, or company will start trying to sell these remaining 200 shares along with some other newly created shares. This is known as the second stage of IPO, which is known as FPO, which means follow on public offer. Okay, so first one is initial public offer, the second one is follow on public offer. So under the follow on public offer, those shares which were not sold through IPOs along with the new additional shares will now be sold by the company. Okay, so this is an attempt to sell the leftover shares which were not sold initially, and also the extra shares which have been created. So that process is known as FPO. Okay, so when an FPO is being launched, which is only the secondary stage of IPO, first shares goes to the rightful owners of the company. The first set of shares has to be put before the board of directors. Now they can take the shares if they want, or they can just refuse. Okay, so only condition is that when an FPO is created, the first set of shares has to be put before the board of directors, and they can decide if they want or not. So that is known as a rights issue. The rightful owners or the shareholders should be given the first right. They can buy it, or choose not to buy it. The only thing is they should be given the